Welcome to New to Media, where we connect you to the best service professionals and help you learn about great experiences all over the world.
It's great to be here again. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Again, Zach Cockfield with New to Media. This time I have Dana Flanagan with me. Dana Flanagan is a luxury real estate professional that is based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Dana, thanks so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me today.
Well, it's a pleasure. I really enjoyed looking through some of the show prep. You have some amazing experiences to share with the viewers. And you also have a really interesting mix of services that you offer for clients that I don't think we get to share with the audience very often. You definitely have a skill set that is, of course, being a luxury real estate professional, but you also, in working with luxury real estate, you get into some issues that I guess realtors don't often get into. So we'll get into that in just a moment. Tell me, first of all, when did you get into real estate? How did you get into it?
About 22 years ago, I became licensed, but I actually was involved in the watching real estate happen in front of me because my aunt was a top producing realtor in Connecticut, and we're very close. And so I really started kind of following her around when I was about 12. And she would pay me, to do certain little jobs that are all now automated.
That's so cool.
But I loved going into the office and sitting at the front desk and taking notes from, the MLS book, which of course now everything is computerized and AI. So I've actually been around it a long time. My dad had his license for a little while. He was a property manager. He owned a bunch of properties. And so he could be home when we were growing up. So it's been kind of in my blood for pretty much my whole life.
That is fantastic. I know that a number of the realtors that we're working with have had a similar story, and that so many of them, it's a family business. Their parents were in it or siblings were in it. And I always love hearing that. I'm a big proponent of the American small business. How did you get into luxury real estate? How did you transition? Or I guess, working in Connecticut, there's a lot of luxury real estate in that area. But did you get into the luxury part of real estate at the beginning like that?
Oh, gosh, no. And I'm actually I'm born and raised in Connecticut, moved to North Carolina about 4 months ago. And I'm actually from Central Connecticut. So when people think of all the really high-end homes, a lot of them are in Fairfield County, which is borders New York City. And that is not a market that I've really ever worked in. It's a completely different animal than the rest of Connecticut. So my bread and butter really for the majority of my career was, homes from 175,000 to like 800,000. That was really the market, more so, like the 200s, 300s, 400s, 500s. That was really, what I focused on. And that was really what the market bared there. It's not until really I went down to South Florida, got involved in the Fort Lauderdale and surrounding market, and made relationships with people that are of that space. So I made relationships with people in the yachting industry, private jets, family offices, and, got involved in events where those types of people would be attending. And so really the luxury market it's not easy to get into. It's a relationship-based, part of the business. These people know multiple realtors, and they go with people that they trust and that they like. And so it doesn't have really, a lot of times it doesn't have a lot to do with your experience. It has to do with who you are and how you guys got to know each other. It's a relationship business, just like any other business. One of the things that I noticed from some of your other content, actually, I believe from a different podcast, is that you talked about that it takes time. It's a commitment. And I thought that was really smart. That's one of the things that we try to emphasize with the professionals that we're partnering with, because even if we make great content, it takes time to get it out there. It takes time to build those relationships. And it sounds like you're even doing coaching with folks on some of these things. You want to speak to that? Sure. Yeah. I mean, everybody wants instant gratification nowadays, especially with, the access to everything, smartphones, social media. Everybody wants instant results. And
Right.
I think that it's very misleading when you see people posting photos of their end result, but they don't know the blood, sweat, and tears that went into actually getting to that. So I think there's a lot of, there's a little bit of like dysmorphia when it comes to looking at social media and seeing people's successes, but they don't actually think of all the work of that went in behind that. And what I always tell people is people are rewarded in public for what they practice in private, and they don't always share those things. And so you have to really keep an even keel when it comes to that. These types of results take consistency. They are built over time. A lot of it is, building relationships, which I always go back to. It all comes down to relationships and consistency. There are days that I don't feel like doing anything. There are days where, maybe it's gloomy outside. Maybe I didn't have the best morning. Maybe somebody called and annoyed me. I mean, it really just has to do with so many things, but you have to.
And there are failures.
Right. And you fail forward. That's what I tell people. You fail forward and you have to be conditioned to pick yourself up and keep going. I mean, sales, this is a sales business. People slam the door in your face all the time. They hang up on you. They don't want to list their home with you. You didn't get a listing. A buyer went with a different realtor. We've all had it happen. And you have to be able to learn to just move on and redirect your mindset and not dwell on the things that you can't change and just continue to go towards your goals.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's really some of the key points that I try to focus on. And I always share with others that I think is important in their business.
I love that. Fail forward. And I think even when you've gotten to a place where you're succeeding, you've already accomplished a lot. You're successful already. You're still going to be failing sometimes. That's just part of it. I mean, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
I mean, there are going to be deals that don't work out, even when you're Dana Flanagan.
Yes, of course. And there's a lot of uncertainty in the market right now with everything that's going on with the changes in the real estate industry, everything that's going on with NAR. It's no secret. There's a lot of it's a volatile market right now, both with what's going on in the real estate industry and the actual market in general. There's not, a lot of areas don't have a lot of inventory. Realtors are definitely down on their sales. Interest rates are up. We're not sure what's going on with, it's an election year, which always affects the market. So I think that, people just need to keep reinventing themselves. And it's so important to learn to pivot when things aren't going your way. And people may say to me, and people that are listening to this podcast maybe have followed me for a while, they may say, well, gosh, she's tried things and they haven't worked out. Yeah, that's absolutely true. I have tried things and it hasn't worked out, or I realized it wasn't for me and I've moved on. So I think that, you don't get anywhere if you stay in the same place all the time. So that's fine. There are people that are comfort zone. They always say nothing great comes from a comfort zone. There's people that love comfort zones, and that's totally fine. And that keeps them comfortable. I prefer to continue to keep reaching for the stars and trying new things. And I also learn so much in the process, which is so much fun. For me, it's fun.
Yep. That's the people that really succeed. I think they continue to fail. They continue to go for big things. And I mean, Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, is still making mistakes. He is still crashing some rockets and doing some other things every once in a while, but he's still going for big goals. And he's not afraid to go after it. So good for you. Super cool. Well, what I want to do now, because you've shared some fantastic images that give people a little bit of a feel for some of the things that they can go after in the Charlotte area and also other parts of the country that you're doing work, I want to share some of those. Hang on just a second. Let's see if we can get this to cooperate. Okay.
This is the fun part.
This is the fun part. I love doing this. We have to, of course, show off the Lambos first because that's super cool. See if I can zoom this in just a little bit. What can you tell us about this, Dana?
So I also do some work in private equity venture capital. I raise funds I provide funding for businesses and projects worldwide. That company is Onyx Elite. And I am there with the CEO, Doru Angelo, who happens to be a longtime friend from growing up in Connecticut. And he created a wonderful business consulting firm that I always have had tremendous respect for him. And we were both sort of raising capital on, with other firms and just sort of basically making connections for people that needed funding to people that provided funding. And we were working together, but not together, if that makes sense. And so we actually took what we learned. He actually got burned by a company that did not follow through with their promise. And so there's nothing more than saying, hey, you know what, enough of this. This is not how this should be, and we can do it better. So we joined forces, and we, as you can see, we have a lovely team. And actually our team is twice as large as that. There are some people that have joined because we have so many clients right now. And so we're a funding facilitator, and we put the deals together because of the resources and the relationships that we have. So it's been such a wonderful experience to work alongside with him and everybody on the team, and everybody's worked so well together. So it's a lot of fun. And we're at an event there called Jetson Capital. It's a major networking event that I love. It's my favorite one of the year. It happens twice a year, and that's in Dallas there. And the next one is in September in Utah. And it's just a great high level networking event for family offices and high net worth individuals.
All right. I'm going to share another picture from the Wings, Wheels, and Fashion. You want to speak to this one, Dana?
Oh, yes. So this was Wings, Wheels, and Fashion in Boca Raton. I will tell you, it was about 100 degrees in that jet hangar, and everybody was dying. So don't let that fool you. I was sweating profusely through that dress, but it was a wonderful.
It's a great shot, though. So you made it work.
And Victoria's Voice Foundation is a charity organization for teens and people that have overdosed to stop, to stop the opioids, fentanyl, all of the drugs that are out there that are taking away our youth and people in general that maybe never got involved one night and it killed them. So that is a foundation to raise awareness. And it was such a great event. They had a fashion show, lots of luxury cars. As you can see, we're in a jet hangar, and lots of private jets outside. So always helping out and being a part of a good cause when I can.
I love it. And for the James Bond fans, yes, that is an Aston Martin.
Yes.
Okay, super cool. All right, shifting over to Charlotte. I'm going to give a little bit of a share on what's going on in Charlotte. I know it's a little bit of a blurry photo, but I still think it's a great one because it shows that you're going to help people find the really nice neighborhoods in Charlotte that will offer some of these fantastic amenities. Do you want to speak to this?
Yeah, so I'm an avid pickleball player. I actually have only been playing about a year, but I played a ton of sports growing up. I'm very athletic, and so I picked it up pretty quickly. We actually live outside of Charlotte in the Lake Norman area, and we got involved as soon as we moved. And it's great because there's, as you know, pickleball is one of the fastest growing sports in the country. And this was a shot with some new shoes that were sent to me by a potential client of ours. It's called Winner's Edge, or the shoes. And if you're interested in a pair, they are all about pickleball, and I'd be more than happy to hook you up with the company. But cool. It's great. There's tons and tons of communities and pickleball associations. So if somebody's looking for something to do or get into it, it's there for all levels.
Fantastic. And I'll just shift over to Lake Norman. I want to give a shout out to Mom really quick. My mother wanted me to go to Davidson College in Lake Norman, but I didn't. Sorry, Mom. But it's a beautiful, beautiful area. Dana, tell us about the lake life at Lake Norman.
Oh, gosh. Well, this is why we moved here. It's for the lake. That's me wake surfing. Got into wake surfing probably about 4 years ago. Always had a boat, always been on, had a lake house in New Hampshire when I was growing up. And wake surfing was a new sport for me. I've wakeboarded, I've water skied, done everything, behind the boat. But we got into the sport, and at this age, you're not attached to it's a lot easier of a fall when you do fall.
Right.
It's
Right.
like landing on a cloud and you just fall into the water. You're not attached to the boat. You actually surf the wave
Yeah.
behind the boat, and you have to have a special boat for that, which is a wake surf boat. And
Right.
it's a fun sport. It's an expensive sport, and
Uh-huh.
it's just, there's just nothing like it when you can take that time and you're just all you're thinking about is the water and the turns and watching the boat in front of you. And it's a great way, just like skiing for those people that ski out there. You're really just thinking about what you're doing at the time. That water, just so you guys know, is about 93 degrees. So
Wow.
it's a super warm lake. It's actually not refreshing, but it's a
Uh,
lot of fun, and it's a large lake, and everybody, there's a lot of people out there doing our sport, which is why we moved here. So it's been a lot of fun.
it's a great community too. Lots of nice things in Charlotte to partake in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna shift over. We had some pictures from some, I guess, friends that I should have maybe done show prep to discuss, but had some other great shots here to share. Here's another one from Heels on Fire. This is I cannot remember if we touched on this much yet, but it looks like another great charity event.
Yeah. So Heels on Fire is a networking event. It's basically heels and handshakes. I was invited by my girlfriend there in the middle, and it was such a great event. It was all women. We were all dressed up in bright colors, so the whole room looked like this. And it was all business women, and there was a panel, and people shared their struggles, how they got to where they got to in their business. There was a mix of many fail forwards, some that would bring tears to your eyes.
Wow.
It was just a great event of, women coming together, women in business, women empowerment. And it was just really inspirational. And they do this event all over. I know there's one coming up. I believe it's in Tennessee. And so just a great evening. And they do it at a time where people that have children would be able to attend. So they do it at like 4 to 6. So it doesn't take away from, children's sports or dinner time or whatever else they might have going on. So it's a time that hopefully works for a lot of families as well.
All right. Fantastic. Well, we'll have to make sure that we get people connected to you for future events with Heels on Fire or other charity events, because it looks like you attend a number of really cool events that they would love to participate in or make contributions to. And we want to make sure that we also get you connected to people that are, obviously looking into real estate opportunities. So we'll make sure to, push people down to Dana's link below. But I think you have a really interesting, not just perspective, but your experience in luxury real estate is going to be interesting to a lot of people. I know you've also stated that although you're based in Charlotte now, you're also doing work in other parts of the country. You're doing work in South Florida. You're from Connecticut. Are there other areas that you want to maybe give a shout out for your services?
Yeah, well, of course, my heart is always with Connecticut. I grew up there. I was, very, very involved in the community. Did real estate there for 22 years. So really built a name for myself in that regard. And I still do business there. I'm newer to the Lake Norman area, just outside of Charlotte. So I am building my network and really getting involved in as many things as I can. And of course, my Fort Lauderdale community, I really do feel like I live there. We have a place there and we go back and forth quite often. And I got involved when I went down to that market. That's not an easy market to get into in real estate. I got involved in everything I could. I joined the chamber. I joined, all sorts of different events I could go to. I met people. I invited people out to lunch. And it's tiring and it takes a lot of effort. And it's, you're not looking for instant results. You're looking to build your network. And that's really what pays itself forward tenfold down the road. And
exactly.
I've got other areas of the country. I'm pretty connected in the Salt Lake and Park City area in Utah. Thought about living there for a little while. We're big skiers. So, when I've gone out there, I've created relationships again. And so Salt Lake is the #1 entrepreneurial city in the country. So, I did
not know that.
Yeah. And it's very apparent when you're there. it's funny. My girlfriend lives there, and we went to the gym at like 11 o'clock in the morning, which is something I would normally never do. Normally I go very early in the morning. And I said, "God, it's packed at 11 o'clock. I can't believe this. Like, it's packed."
Right.
She goes, "Because everybody here is an entrepreneur and they just go when they want to. It's not like they go in the morning and they go after work. They just go when they want to. It's busy all day long," she said. So
yeah, they finished their, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think they've probably finished their first 2 Zooms for the day, and then they go in, get a workout, and come back for the afternoon sessions.
Right. Yeah, it's very apparent. And, the energy there and the events there, it's very entrepreneurial based. So.
Fantastic. Well, you again, hit on something that I think is really important to emphasize for those new agents or those young agents that are just getting into the industry, that it takes a while to build up the relationships that you have. I mean, you don't get to Dana's level overnight. What would you advise for these folks that are just getting into the business in a time where it's, not as easy as it was 2 years ago? What would you tell them?
Sure. I would tell them to identify their brand. What is their brand? Who are they and how do they want to come across to their clientele and to the general public? Everybody's going to say, "Oh, but I'm a realtor." Everybody knows what that is. You and 100,000 people in the state. What is your specialty? What is your brand? Are you, and by brand, I mean, are you the mom boss, that gets your network from your kids' soccer and your kids' gymnastics and dance and all of that? Brand yourself that way, because that is your audience for the most part.
Right.
Are you the jet setter that loves to travel and is making referral connections all over the country and all over the world? Brand yourself that way. So figure out who you are and how you want people to perceive you, and brand yourself that way. Make yourself stand out. Give yourself a name, make up a hashtag, whatever it is that you want to put out there. You can go take it as far, as far as you want. I mean, I had a brand for a while with one of my best friends when we were at the same brokerage. Unfortunately, we're not right now. But ours was Dream Lifestyles, and I'm big on the lifestyle. And so that was everything that we did was all about the lifestyle and helping others achieve their dream lifestyle. And we really still do that, although the brand name is not really there anymore. That's what we do. That is my goal, is to help people get into the lifestyle that they want. That's what we did when we moved from Connecticut to Lake Norman. We wanted the lake lifestyle. And so, I think that's an important thing. Number one is to focus on who you are, because if you don't know who you are, no one else is going to know either.
Right. And you said, I heard this on that same podcast, that be authentic. You don't, and you can be very successful in a number of different niches. You don't have to be a luxury real estate expert to be incredibly professional. You can be an investment property expert. You can be somebody that focuses on, first-time home buyers, and you can still kill it. It's just all about, finding out what your niche is and just working hard at it and building those relationships. Sure.
I mean, you've got people that focus on military. You've got people that work with, first-time home buyers, like you said. You've got people that are relocation specialists. But, it's got to go a little further than that. I feel like sometimes, everybody works with first-time home buyers, whether we brand ourselves that way or not. I mean, it's just going to happen that way. I think giving yourself that something that differentiates you from everyone else is really what makes you stand out. And how are you going to stand out with all these other people that are licensed? I mean, everywhere. I mean, just in the Charlotte area and the Lake Norman area, it's loaded with realtors. Fort Lauderdale, forget it. I mean, everybody's a realtor. So you really have to find your niche, and how are you going to stand out?
Right. Well, that's fantastic. Well, you're doing a great job of standing out, Dana. You've built a great brand. I'm excited that we can help to amplify it a little more, and we're excited to partner with you as you and your team stake a flag in the new 2 media map. Dana, thank you so much for taking the time to connect with us today. I can't wait to see more of what you bring to us from the luxury lifestyle and the various places that you're working. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience as we close?
Oh gosh. Well, thank you so much, first of all, for having me. This was a lot of fun, and I'm always here to help people nationally, internationally. If you're looking for, a new opportunity, if you're an experienced agent or a seasoned agent and you're looking for a new opportunity, I'm more than happy to show you some other options out there in order to change the trajectory of your business. If you're a newer agent or you're thinking about getting into real estate, I'm also happy to help and answer any questions that you have. And if anybody's looking for funding, I'm more than happy to put them in the right direction as well. So I'm here to be a resource for people. And, I never want people to hesitate on contacting me.
Very good. I should give one quick disclaimer. I and New to Media are not involved with the private equity or the venture capital funding that Dana speaks of. That's a business that she's affiliated with. But I certainly want people to get in contact with Dana. So I'm going to again say, make sure that you click on the link for Dana's page below. And we look forward to sharing this with the audience. Dana, thank you again for being here today. We look forward to having you on again soon.
Thank you so much.
Let's go! Let's